scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by Lita from New Orleans, Louisiana, Jazz.
You know, Jazz just has a bona fide mean streak in her. Bottom line, that's it. Jazz goes in there to just destroy. Not just win, but destroy whoever her opponent is.
And we can't say what she likes to say a lot, but we know that Jazz is back, and we know that Jazz, as she likes to say, is black. We realize that, but she's always meant business.
Oh, yeah.
Just a lot of the world is starting to realize that.
Just like this young lady. The crowd always goes nuts for Lita.
Yes, and believe me, I'm glad those days are over. But I also see somebody who wants to get back to where she once was. And I think she's on that road, but she may find a little bit of a hiccup this week here on Heat.
She might just find that. But you know what I think of Lita? I remember Lita giving you a low blow for that great book review you did of Lita's book. So,
and sometimes when
that's
you're
what I remember.
Sometimes when you're reviewing books or whatever, sometimes you don't say things that people want to hear.
Well, you know what? I think it was pretty obvious this past week. Paul Heyman, SmackDown general manager, was on Raw and said a few things to, I guess, Goldberg that he didn't want to hear.
Well,
None of us did.
I rarely agree with JR. Oh, we all know that.
Yeah.
But I felt like taking a shower, and I was just in the back. The fact that Paul Heyman would show up on our show disgusted me. But it was beautiful that Goldberg decided to spear Paul Heyman, who I have never liked.
Yeah, well, Paul Heyman, I mean, the hideous SmackDown general manager, and all Goldberg was doing was defending Raw territory. I mean, that was the bottom line with that.
Well, the bottom line is we see these two women start off very, very nastily like we knew these two would. But the bottom line is it's a big deal to have Paul Heyman on the Raw turf. But at the same time, it's going to be a big deal this week at No Way Out to have Goldberg in the front row watching Brock Lesnar take on Eddie Guerrero.
In the middle of SmackDown territory, Coach. Oh, that is going to be something, my friend.
It's almost worth it to buy a ticket to that show to see what's going to happen.
Absolutely. And you know what? Lita, I can't see Lita winning this battle if it comes to strength with Jazz, but here comes Lita. A nice counter move, and Lita goes for the hook in the leg, both legs, actually. And only a one count, and here comes Jazz. Nice takedown there by Lita, and a flying drop kick by Lita. Needless to say, Lita is on fire, and Jazz is reeling right now.
It's time to take a little bit of a timeout. Just regroup, Jazz, you're okay. Listen to your mentor theater all along, and so we can get right back on the page where we need to be.
You know, we mentioned Paul Heyman, the SmackDown GM, was on Raw this past week. Also, the chairman, Mr. McMahon, showed up and gave your boy, Eric Bischoff, a mouthful.
I won't comment on the whole Eric Bischoff stuff because I know where my bread's butter with him.
And you walk on, you know, eggshells once in a while.
Well, exactly. But when the chairman is around and the chairman decides he wants to show up, it's a big deal. And you know it's WrestleMania season. Wow, what a shock. You know it's WrestleMania season when Vince McMahon decides to make an appearance.
Absolutely. Lita comes crashing right into Jazz in the turnbuckle. And now, just when you thought maybe Jazz was capturing the momentum, was not the case. And here comes Lita again, very athletic. Oh, there's a shot by Jazz, though. Nice shot by Jazz. It was kind of a desperation move there, Coach.
And it's all about stopping the momentum.
Yes.
It's all about stopping what Lita had going. Jazz does that, and then quick as a kick, right on top of Lita.
Yeah, and Jazz with the power now, and just one shot after the next to the back of Lita's head, right in that same area where that surgery took place.
You know, it's funny because you see the disdain on the face of Jazz, the intensity that you see, and a lot of times women all over the world have that same look.
When they see you, right?
Well, no, they have the look of joy when they see me. But sometimes...
Hang on there. There goes Jazz now hooking a leg and only a 2 count. Lita able to get out of that.
You know, things aren't going as Lita planned. Sometimes when women get thrown out of their normal schedule, maybe they show up late a little bit or they start late with something. Sometimes they get a little bit thrown off.
Oh, man, just like that.
And I think that's what we're seeing here with Lita.
It could be just that. You're absolutely right. And now it's Jazz coming, trying to really put the finishing touches on Lita, but Lita, nice shot to the midsection, and another one. Jazz not covering up there. Goes for the big right arm, but it's now back and forth, blow for blow. And Coach, man, I don't think Lita wants to get in for a blow for blow match with Jazz.
Well, no, but maybe she wants to get in. Wait, did I say that?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you actually said it.
Well, but you know what I meant, and you were about to back me up. There's a hook in the leg and only a 2 count. Just a 2 count, and Theodore Long, we saw him a minute ago cheering on Jazz, but right now, Theodore Long can only just sit really ringside and watch.
And watch it and understand that Jazz is getting beat down.
And here's another hook in the leg with about a 1.5 count there. You know what? Neither Lita or Jazz can get to that 2, 2.5, almost that 3 count. Quickly, though, each one of these superstars gets out of it early.
And you have to wonder if Jazz's and Theodore Long's minds are on this match. Their thoughts have got to be with Mark Henry.
Maybe that's it. There's your hook in the leg, folks. There's your 2 count, but not a number 3. And you're right, you mentioned Mark Henry. What, out for 4 months now?
Apparently that's what it's going to be, 4 months with that dislocated shoulder. And that's a big blow
compliments
of Chris Benoit, who's had a heck of a couple of weeks, defeating Mark Henry, and this past week on Raw, defeating Ric Flair.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about Chris Benoit. I have some questions for you about that. Now, Jazz going for the, what is this, the STF, Coach?
Well, it's the STF. You lock it in, but Lita somehow has got to get to the ropes, and she is.
And now look at Theodore Long.
Theodore Long's not doing anything.
What do you mean? Theodore Long has no business. Why is Theodore Long arguing with the referee? And now Jazz is able to pull Lita away from the ropes. And now she's tapping out. Unbelievable.
Well, unbelievable is right in the sense that it was such a dominating victory for Jazz.
What match were you watching?
I don't think I've ever seen Jazz as impressive in a one-sided victory as what we just saw this week here on Heat.
That was the same Jazz that was reeling for most of this match, but thanks to Theodore Long, Jazz was able to pick up the victory. Jazz, I should say, Lita still feeling the effect.